Okay, so I decided to use story maps for my comprehension strategy in social studies. Story maps are a device that is used to make understanding the story easier for students. It's kind of like a graphic organizer. It has a couple of boxes set up on a page, and it can have things such as the title, the setting, the theme, characters, even beginning, middle, and end. You can have the plot, the climax, problems and solutions, anything you really want to make it out of it, you can add. These boxes are filled out by the reader, and then the information correlates to the story. Anything that you think could make it more understandable for your students, you can add to the story map, and it will give them a deeper understanding of the material and all of the parts that make up the story. I chose this, and it fell under the category of social studies, and I think that it would benefit social studies because it would be easier to break down all the information, because when we read history content, sometimes we can be overwhelmed with the information. It gives us so many things like dates and all of the different people that have to do with certain events, and then it just gives them a way to organize that information while reading it. It can also be it can be very effective for at-risk readers because they sometimes have problems with the comprehension part of the reading. They can read it and they do well, they're very fluent, but they're not understanding the information, so they're not comprehending it. For my theme, I chose to do a lesson over Thanksgiving, and it can go for all grade levels, just because it's a pretty relevant topic. But let's see. So I am giving a breakdown for each one. So I have the elementary grades, which is K through 2, or early elementary, K through 2, and then 3 through 6, and English language learners. To use story mapping in the primary grades, I would suggest having just little tiny bits of information. So you could do like the characters, and then the setting, and then the problem and the solution. And then you could do it as a class all together so that but they could keep their copy and glue it in their like reading journal or something like that. And we could have them all give out ideas. So if we did it on the board, I would say something like, okay, so somebody raise their hand and tell me one of the characters in the story. And then we could include all of the class. Or you could have them do it in partners if they're a little bit older, like maybe the second grade version of it. And then for the elementary age group, I'd go a little bit more into detail, having more things they need to add, such as the beginning, middle, end. They could add the theme by that point, possibly the conflict and resolution. And then for the ELLs, to maybe differentiate a little bit, I would put in each box, instead of just saying theme, I would give a description of what the theme was, something to define the boxes instead of just the one-word descriptions, or maybe even having smaller questions for them to answer in the boxes instead of just the one word. So you could say like, what is the theme of this, instead of just saying theme, and then have the little like, this is what theme is. And then you could have plot and have a little breakdown of plot. Setting, to be like, where does this take place, like something like that. I would also have ELL students work with a brain buddy, so anybody that's an English language learner. For the 3 books that I picked out, for the primary, I think is what it is, primary, I chose the book Thanksgiving, What Makes It Special by Harold Myra, and I used the questions, what is the name of a character in the story, what do you think they ate for dinner, and what is the reason for Thanksgiving. And then for the elementary level, I put, what was the setting of the book? Do you think that it is a true story, and what did you learn about Sarah? Sorry, the title of the book is Thank You, Sarah, the Woman Who Saved Thanksgiving by Laurie Halse Anderson. And then for my last one, the ELLs, I chose the book This Is the Turkey, and the questions I used is, what is the day they are celebrating, what day of the week is it in the story, and what made Thanksgiving special. So those are just easy little breakdowns, and I wish I could flip the camera and show you, but I don't know if this will work. But I don't know if you can tell, there's little questions in the boxes about what So who is the story about? What happened? Where did it take place? Just stuff like that. There, instead of just saying theme, setting, beginning, middle, end, but it gives you more and more details as you develop the boxes. So yeah, story maps.